You notice you're using an ad blocker. You sure did. You sure did. Yeah, we picked up Dublings at Gen Con this year. The boys have had a ton of fun with it. Haley too, although she needs a little bit more help. She's not a super strong reader as of yet. But she likes card games. All right. We have this. I'm live there. Our advert is done. Oh, I wanted to make a couple of commands really quick too. I put up a best decks roundup on the YouTube channel, chat. People have asked me why I've stopped doing those consistently. You want best decks roundups consistently? Go watch it. Leave a comment. Leave it a thumbs up. I'll watch it because I need you to tell me the least bad deck to get my Death Fractured Frontier missions done. It does cover that too. There's two death decks in it. Marvel Snap is finally getting a draft mode, and it's unlike any you've ever played. Second Dinner is delivering on one of the most requested features for its popular card game. Look at that, chat. They think our dead game is popular. Marvel Snap has been a huge debut success for Second Dinner, the studio created by Blizzard alumni. Let's move me over here really quick. But one feature it's been missing since launch that's a mainstay in card games is draft mode. Snap is finally preparing to launch its own spin on draft with the new mode coming on Monday the 24th. Draft will be a limited time game mode at launch. Boo! Give me permanent game modes. Boo! Similar to other modes like Grand Arena, Team Clash, and Sanctum Showdown, that means you'll have tickets to play as well as a rewards track for participating in the mode. And while it's more recognizable within the standard rules of Snap than some of those other modes, it carves out its own space with some unique twists on the regular rules of a draft mode. When you begin draft mode, you'll pick a starter for your deck, 3 cards that synergize together from a variety of recognizable archetypes like Ramp, Swarm, Move, Destroy, Control, and Ongoing. I played 4 years of Marvel Snap, and I don't know that a Swarm deck has ever been competitive, but I assume this is referring to, like a zoo deck that swarms the board, not the discard card Swarm. You then build the rest of your deck with individual card picks categorized into those archetypes. Second Dinner noted that Marvel Snap is an unusually synergistic game, so it needed to make sure players could draft a deck that works well together. That's the purpose of categorizing cards into these specific card pools. Cards also have been given a rarity status like rare or legendary to steer how often they will come up as an option in card selection. So I wonder if we'll get a table of like what constitutes rare, legendary, or common or not. So we've got we've got an example here. We've got an ongoing pile with Ant-Man, Blue Marvel, and Onslaught. We've got a destroy pile with Kid, Omega, Atuba, and Infusion. And we've got a control pile, which looks like a Scream type move your opponent stuff we're classifying as control. We got OG Spider-Man, Kingpin, and Magento. During the initial draft phase, you'll immediately notice cards are sometimes a little different than you recognize. For one, they may be given enhanced stats, making them more powerful than their standard incarnations. You can also have duplicates in draft mode, so having a card in your deck doesn't necessarily mean you won't see it as an option anymore. Finally, some cards can be given augments, powerful upgrades like Quick Draw Discount, that reduces the card cost by 2 on the turn it's draw, Amplify, which doubles a card's ongoing effect, or Superstar, which guarantees the card can start in your opening hand. You draft until you've made a deck of 10 cards, and then you start battling. You'll play until you either win 5 matches or lose 2, but you'll have the option to use a respawn token per draft round, 1 per draft round. Is this the pay to win aspect, chat? If your run sucks, you can pay to save it. As you play matches, you get the option to add more cards to your deck up to 12, or to enhance your current cards with more augments, further empowering to take on changes. Is this an inclusive or? As you play matches, you'll have the option to add more cards to your deck or to enhance your cards. So, like, does this mean I can choose to not add more cards but instead augment them, or is it both? The wording here is a little vague. I feel like it could mean either of those things. I had a chance to go hands-on with the draft mode, building decks and battling it out with bots and likely second dinner employees. They said the B word, chat, since I wasn't yet in the live environment. And while I've never been too enamored with draft modes in other card games, this one caught and kept my interest thanks to the smart ways Second Dinner has iterated on the concept. Choose a card to add to the deck. Encore, this card's on reveal ability repeats. I feel like I want to be positive, but also like critical where they deserve to be critical. I feel like the game should probably have it programmed in when these augments aren't useful and not offer them. Like, Encore probably shouldn't be an option on like Juggernaut or Enchantress, and I'm sure there's some other on reveals that don't do anything. Sure, I believe it can only appear on reveal cards, but like it probably should be a subset of those on reveal cards, so it doesn't appear on things like these where it wouldn't do anything, right? There's no mouse over here showing us what these other augments are. That's also a really poor choice for we're picking things to put into an article here to show an ability that functionally does nothing on the card. So they're taking like a PvP draft into kind of a roguelike deck builder kind of. Yeah, Runeterra did something similar where you like iterated and changed cards as you went and added to your deck. I don't think they modified cards. You added more cards to your deck as you went. The new type categories make a difference when building a synergistic deck. Giving you a starter pack with 3 cards helped steer me towards a particular playstyle, and then it was easy to maintain that with subsequent draft selections. Not every choice was a perfect fit. Naturally, in a draft mode, you need some randomness, and things don't always line up, but choosing an archetype as my starter created a North Star for me to follow for the rest of my selections. The new rarity ratings had similar steering effects, and sometimes I would break from my deck type to take advantage of a powerful legendary card, trusting that its sheer quality would make it worthwhile. Plus, if a card didn't exactly fit into my deck, I could bank on the chance of outfitting it with a great augment that would make it work, or I could choose my augments to turn my already powerful cards into destructive powerhouses. Random thought thinking about this, but in other card games, they have different booster packs that like change how draft feels from like set to set. And obviously Snap doesn't have that same type of booster pack thing, but they could customize what archetypes are available, right? Like I think if you think about it, I guess it depends on how many cards they want for an archetype, but you could probably figure out a dozen or more types of archetypes that exist in Snap and have different ones that are like in and out of the starter packs people can pick from to like both tune, balance, and have there be variety in the draft over the different iterations. Yeah, there's a lot of 3 cards. I assume the starters aren't always the same 3 cards. Like I assume a destroy starter isn't guaranteed to have these 3, and an ongoing starter isn't guaranteed to have these 3. So I assume to make an archetype, you probably need more than specifically 3 cards. But I think you could probably find plenty of groups of like, I don't know, somewhere between like 10 and 20 Marvel Snap cards that make sense together to classify as an archetype and something they could experiment with. Like any card game, Snap's draft mode sings when it lets you create unexpected combos that feel powerful and game-breaking. I'm traditionally a destroy player in Marvel Snap, so I gravitated towards that for some of my draft matches. I drafted a Bucky Barnes, which creates a Winter Soldier when it blows up, but then I got the opportunity to augment Bucky with regeneration, giving him the Wolverine-like ability to revive and bounce to a different spot with 2 power. I cackled at this combo as I repeatedly destroyed Bucky, leaving behind Winter Soldier and respawning him anywhere to do it again. After a few hours of hands-on time, I don't think I've really scratched the surface of these surprising scenarios. For more insights in Marvel Snap's new draft mode and how the studio iterated on the classic card games, I spoke with Sam Dinner's Sam Stoddard. Sam's I recognize that. That's a previous Magic player, right? Most a lot of it were previous. I think this was a WotC person for a long time, if I recall correctly. The 2 big pillars of Marvel Snap are ranked mode and conquest plus rotating limited time game modes. Ah, yes, conquest, that pillar of Marvel Snap. And that pillar of Marvel Snap that hasn't been touched in 3.5 years. In the foundational stages, when you were first conceptualizing having draft mode, why did you go with the limited time game route instead of trying to make it a third pillar? Part of the reason why it's taken so long to get draft into Snap is that if you were to design a game where it was basically impossible to do a draft mode, Snap would be pretty high up on that list. Like, it's just got a lot of other things that work against how you would normally do a draft mode. Snap has a much lower number of cards, you have very small decks, so even the amount of variance you get isn't very high, as well as the synergy is very high. There's all these things that really work against it, and it's part of why it took so long to eventually get to a place where we're really happy with what we had as an offering. So part of the limited time game mode thing is we have a lot of unknowns right now. I enjoy the mode a lot, but I've designed it. I've talked to a lot of other people who enjoy it, but we need to stress test it with a much larger group of people. The thing we cannot do is change 2/3 of the cards every time we run a draft. There aren't enough cards in Snap to do that. But we can do things like change which augments exist or change what decision nodes you get, some of the core rules of what you're doing. So basically, it sounds like they're putting this up as a limited time game mode and not a permanent mode because they want to throw the noodle at the wall, see what sticks, and then iterate on it. I'm firmly of the opinion they could iterate on it even if it was the new permanent mode, but I can see why they're weary of it. Games like Snap hate adding more cues to their games. You can augment cards. Let's just another picture here. So this is another one where, again, choose which card to augment. Like Cloak is another one that should be on. I said there were more. Cloak's another one that should be on the list of, okay, Encore doesn't do anything for this. Encore is useful on these two and useful on a number of others, but again, like the Juggernaut showed above, like just doesn't do anything there. All those options for what we could do, we really want to make sure that basically whatever we're offering for this mode, it's as fun as possible and not something that's going to be stale quick. And that's one of the major things we're going to find out, I believe, when we launch it. How long are people going to be able to play this and reasonably get enjoyment out of it and be able to play new games and try different things? So there's lots of things we're going to learn over time. So based on how this limited time game mode goes, both with the initial rollout and subsequent version, is there a chance it becomes permanent? Is that something you're keeping an eye on? It's definitely something we're keeping an eye on. There are a lot of discussions about that, and I'm not sure exactly where we're going to land on it. Certainly, there are goals to make sure that Snap as a whole has a lot going on with it and that we have everything that we need. But I think we're just basically going to figure out over time what the right spot for it is, exactly what the cadence for the mode is. Replace Ladder with Deadpool's Diner. Replace Conquest with Draft. Seconded motion passes. Someone let Second Dinner know. Marvel Snap's a very synergistic game, more so than a lot of other card games even, and so when making a draft mode, you need to make sure that people can actually build decks that function and isn't just a bunch of random stuff or doesn't really work together. Yep, that was a problem. We were designing it. The main problem is like, oh, I've got a Colleen Wing. Well, is that any good? Well, if I don't get at least 3 other discard enablers or discard rewards, then no, it's just not worth it. As we were looking at it and trying a lot of other stuff on the mode, that was always a problem. The question I had was, okay, how do you beat something like Black Panther Arnim Zola? Like, you got a 2-card combo that puts a bunch of power in 2 lanes. How do you beat that? In the regular game, I have different synergies, or my deck's trying to do something slightly different. If it's just based on, well, you don't really have a lot of synergies in my deck, it's more based on how strong cards are individually, then you're going to struggle. And frankly, Snap just doesn't have a lot of cards that are super strong by themselves. They really mostly rely heavily on synergy. So when we were designing some of it, we have the ability to add augments to things to make sure you could take a card that doesn't necessarily fit your destroy deck and put an augment on it that ties into destroy, and now suddenly it does fit into your deck. I wonder if the augments will be skewed based on the decks that you're drafting. Like, if you draft the destroy starter pack, are you more likely to get the destroy augments? On reveal, return your lowest cost card here to hand, give it +3 power. Sure, but bounce isn't an archetype, right? At least not in this first iteration. So, like, I don't know. I don't know that I expect an augment like that to be particularly useful. What you really want to do is something where I start going down What you really want to do is something where I start going down on a strategy, and it's going to be more likely to feed me cards that are going to play into my strategy, give me options to pivot, rather than, okay, well, you first picked standard destroy card, and then, like, I just saw no other destroy cards for the rest of my deck, and now it's not very fun. If synergy is the secret sauce of Snap, that can also get way out of hand if you let people over synergize. Another thing Snap does is makes it difficult for draft is we don't have hard rarities. Inherently in the game, we've got different series of cards, but that's not really the same thing as rarity that most games do. So what was actually kind of nice is we just got to invent rarities for the cards. So we got to say, oh, well, this card is a common, this card's a rare, this is an epic, this is a legendary. And so with some of that, we get to move stuff around. So if we're saying, well, Destroy is too strong right now, we could always take Venom or Carnage and go, well, instead of being, a common, now it goes up to rare. Or take one of the, oh, well, that card that is a low rarity just shows up less frequently. We pick some other card that maybe isn't quite as strong and move it down, so we can try and balance power level that way. It definitely, they have a lot of knobs for this game mode, to say the least. We don't necessarily want every strategy to be equal. We don't necessarily want every strategy to be equally strong. Some are going to be more consistent. Swarm's a good example of a deck, whereas I'm laying out all this stuff. I'm like, well, how many cards do we have that, are destroy enablers? That's like, well, there's 10 or something. That's not that many. Well, how many cards do we call swarm enablers? Well, that's every 1-cost card, so there's like 150. And so there's definitely a lot of, okay, we need to move some stuff around and figure out some decks that are going to be more consistent than others, and some decks that'll be a little bit more power spiky. Sometimes the strategy is going to play really heavily into one synergy, and sometimes it's going to go into different things. Okay, so this is an interesting way to phrase this, but after reading the rest of the context, I understand. They're not saying they're designing certain decks to be more pushed than others. They're saying some archetypes will lean into this is consistent, and some archetypes will lean into this is a high roll. This is better when it high rolls. Yeah, this is variations in consistency, not average power. Play till 3 wins or 2 losses with an optional revive. It's actually one of the reasons why this card is not an archetype. We found a lot of spots where many other decks, like Move or Destroy, they could make sense pretty easy. Like, if you have 1 or 2 move cards in a deck, that can still work. Or like, oh, there's some combos and stuff I could do with it. Where discard is very much, if you're not really pretty all in on discard, then all of those cards are not very good. I guess that's true to a degree. I don't know. I think some things like Swarm or Proxima, maybe it's just too many of them, need to be all in. Like, Morbius is pretty all in, but like, I don't know. I think like a Dracula and a Proxima. They answered my question of how do they make Morbius viable, and they answered, we don't. Yep. You eventually have more than one copy of a card, which is not a thing you could normally do in Snap. How did that come about? Designing the mode, that was always one of the most important things to me, was being able to play with multiples of the same card. It evens out a lot of the synergies across different decks. where some decks will be more reliant on a small package of enablers and payoffs, and letting you play duplicates. I mean, you don't have to have like the same 3 or 4 individual enablers and payoffs in the same deck. Yeah, having repeats gives it good variety. The gameplay, I believe they said, plays out like regular Marvel Snap games. 6 turns, and there's no. I don't think they're snapping. I don't think they said anything explicitly about snapping. But I would assume there's no snapping. You just play the games like grand arena style, where there are 6 turns and there's a winner at the end. You have a move deck that's more based around, I'm just going to play 2 Kraven, so I'm going to bounce cards between those locations to get them large, or you've got, multi-man or something like that. For a draft mode to function, you also need the low roll of none of these cards really work for my synergy. I guess I just picked the one that seems like it's least bad. That's part of how this mode has to function. How do you try to make sure that that element was there, but didn't feel so bad that it's off-putting? Some of that is augments and giving you opportunities to upgrade cards in ways where you can take something that maybe wasn't very exciting and then it becomes exciting. One of the other key tenets for this was Marvel Snap does a lot of interesting things with the whole CCG genre. It really tries to turn a lot of things on its heads, and a lot of that is the average game length that Snap is short, and that's intentional. It's intentional. It's a very mobile-first, bite-sized experience. If you play a lot of other draft games, a full draft run might take hours, and especially on mobile, for a mobile game, that's not necessarily a thing people want to sign up for. Ooh, that's a good augment. You get to make a choice here, +4 power or -2 cost. Both of those are pretty good, huh? 412 Magneto or 616 Magneto. So my goal was, obviously, we'll let you play 1 game at a time and you can come back later and finish your draft, but also that the entire time it takes to go all the way through a run should be under half an hour. That's a good target. I like that. And so that helps out with some of the roll rules, trying to make sure that the actual experience is fast and fun enough that you're willing to take those risks, because you know that even if it goes poorly, you're only out a minimal amount of time and you can jump back in and try again. That's really important. I also need to ask, obviously, about the augments. That's a huge element that can almost feel game breaking. When did that come into the flavor of this mode? I'm someone who is a drafter at heart for most card games, so I definitely had in mind one of the things I want to do at some point is figure out how we get drafting in. And I knew it was going to be difficult because obviously not a lot of people at Second Dinner had not figured out the draft strategy, so obviously it's going to be a challenging design problem. When I first got that ability to really start prototyping it with just duplicates, and that was really it. And so we were testing it like, okay, there's something fun here, but not actually enough. Like, the only way we really would make this work is if we have so few cards that you could reliably expect to get duplicates. And then it's like, well, how many times can you really draft the 3-4 deck before that kind of gets old? Augments came out of an idea partially because of one of the things that is challenging about getting draft into Snap is that when you do a draft, part of the fun is you have to make a lot of decisions. If it was like a smash-up game, choose deck A and B and mash them together, you've got a deck. Well, that could be a fun experience, but it's not draft. Marvel Snap obviously has a lot of smash-up inspiration on it. It's got similar locations where you play for them and stuff. Card rarities determine how often you get the particular card. Oh! Is the border on the cards the rarity? It totally is, isn't it? And they took the names from there. Yeah. So like Thena, Iska, Shulao, these are higher rarity cards. That is a good. I didn't realize. I noticed there were different borders on the cards in some of these other ones, but I hadn't connected to, oh, that's the rarity of the card. As we were testing drafting out, part of the issue was you weren't getting enough decisions to make it feel like drafting. It was like you have to make a couple, but it wasn't enough. Augments became a way of, hey, what if we added in the ability to kind of upgrade or change your cards? And that goes a long way to giving you more decision space. It also, again, goes into the eventual goal as a live service that we're able to do changes and have it come back and feel different. Being able to change what augments exist will go a long way. oh, things feel very different this way because now there are augments focused on some different strategies, or now some of the augments are more about reducing costs or more about doing something different. And that goes a long way to having each iteration run at it in different times. Yeah. So, and that's another thing. Maybe they do draft as a limited time game mode, but it's like a monthly limited time game mode, right? Or I don't even know that it has to be limited. And maybe they, even if it's a permanent game mode, just every season they iterate on it, right? Like this season, the 4 weeks of draft are these archetypes and these augments and these cards change rarity, etc. Oh, look at that. Behind the scenes, how will the cadence of updating and planning for the next version of the draft limited time game mode work? We've not fully figured that out yet. Everyone is very excited about the mode, but we're obviously are looking to see how the audience reacts. Whenever I'm designing anything, audience feedback is important. I don't want to be like the kids are wrong guy where it's like, oh yeah, we believe in this and we release it and people are kind of meh. So we're just going to keep releasing it the same way until they really realize how good it is. They've shown us their desire to mix and match limited time game mode. So hopefully at some point we get a chance to try like Sanctum Draft, because Sanctum scoring chat is just the best way to play Marvel Snap. And it's okay to be wrong if you think otherwise. There's a lot we're going to learn. The number of draft games that we played internally is going to be dwarfed by the number of draft games going to happen in the first hour that is live, so we'll learn a lot. We're going to learn about how much choosing different strategies plays out. We're going to get a lot of data along the way. Definitely a thing that we'll be trying to figure out from all of this is what the cadence looks like. It's not going to be too long before it comes back, because we definitely have a lot of things we want to try out. Ooh! You're going to get prizes for every run, chat. I assume, so boosters, experience. Oh, this is probably for like the pass experience, and this is probably whatever limited time game mode shop. And it looks like you get a ticket back to the event if you go 5, and you could get, what is this, 100? Couldn't we just make these quarters? Couldn't we just make it an even 200 credits if I went? Why is it 190 credits? Please, for the sake of my PTS, my OCD, wrong acronyms, can we just give us a quarter? Oh, you assume it's not cumulative? Oh, do you not think so? I assume it's cumulative looking at it. I think you just get the 5. Surely it is. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out. Maybe you're right. You're right. It might just be you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. 200 would be a lot for 5 games. Yeah, but you're paying to play those 5 games, Trash Panda. There's a ticketed system, and the tickets cost something, right? So it's not like you could technically play on demand endlessly. Also, historically speaking, draft modes like this where they have an entry fee are a way to farm value in other games if you're playing them well. Long term, I think we're going to have to figure out some of this. How fresh does it stay for the time that is up? What do we need to do between instances to make sure that it remains fresh and that we've got a lot of new stuff to do? Want to make sure we don't hit a point where it always gets stale because we don't have enough stuff going on. So we're definitely going to figure out what happens with our initial run, and as we do subsequent ones, figure out what to change between and how much does this add-on do. Draft has probably been one of the most requested modes in Marvel Snap, and Draft is sort of a standard mainstay of card games, but the way you're implementing it is surprising. I don't know what I was expecting from Draft, but there are more wrinkles in this than I anticipated. So when you're looking at what the demands have been from the fan base, how do you make sure you deliver while also packing in a bunch of surprising wrinkles that I don't think people are going to see coming? That's been a large point of discussion between Second Dinner internally. Does this hit your expectations for drafting and Snap? And we've certainly had versions of this previously where it felt like this does not live up to my expectations. Would be because it's like whether or not it's just very fun, or some versions we've tried in different configurations. It was like, well, if you started by drafting pick 3 cards, then you got a bunch of 2-card picks. And it was like, well, I'm just not making enough picks. It doesn't feel like a draft format. It feels much more like a mashup type thing. Certainly, there are people who are going to want a more traditional draft experience, whether it's I want to play more games at a time or I want to play more directly against another person. And I'm sure there will be people where this does not necessarily hit what they're looking for. The general hope is that this mode is fun and much more the way that Snap took a lot of things that the core CCG did and turned them on their heads. There are trade-offs for what we made as a really fun mobile experience, different with other CCG. This is what I mentioned too. Someone in our Discord server had mentioned that they don't like drafting in other card games. They're not going to like it in Snap. And I was like, well, I'd be pretty surprised if Snap's draft experience is the same as draft experience other card games, right? Because like regular Marvel Snap is pretty far off of a traditional card game experience, right? You know, Snap is much further away from Magic the Gathering than Hearthstone is or Shadowverse. Like those other more traditional card games, like I described them, they are much closer to what you experience in paper compared to what Snap is. Snap is really more unique in that way. If you take all the things that Snap has done that are unique and really think about draft in the same way, what can we do that makes it unique in a way that lives up to Snap's DNA of the game? Cool. I'll link this article in the chats. If you're watching this summary on my YouTube channel in the future, you can go ahead and find the link to this article in the video description down below. Also, don't forget to tap the like button on YouTube and make sure you're subscribed to the channel for other Marvel Snap game news updates like that in the future. If you want to check out me playing Draft, I'm going to be doing that a ton next week. We've got a new Twitch Drops campaign coming alongside Draft launching on Monday, the 24th, I believe we were told, or is I don't know if we were told, but it's data mine that we're getting a limited time game mode on the 24th. So usually those go live at rollover. I'll be streaming all day, and if we have a solid viewer count, I'll be doing long days every day next week. All right, I'll steal that as a thumbnail here at some point. That took us a half hour to review. I'm gonna upload that to the Hooglandia Snap channel. Little unfortunate that we'll have two videos today because YouTube doesn't like when you post two videos in the same day, but it'll survive, I suppose. I'm gonna tap an ad roll while I format a thumbnail here real quick, I think. Have an advert. And then we'll play some games, huh? I can make you a thumbnail if you give me a couple of minutes. Dan sold if you want to do it. I was just you just take this and throw me on it somewhere. If you're offering, I accept humbly and graciously. Overall, I'm optimistic. Augments seem like the X factor. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Jeff is Venom confirmed, something like that. Oh, right, we switched to NT before the shop rolled over yesterday. Oh, I'm missing a bunch of 700 gold variants right now, chat. Okay, can I complain about something that I'm actually really unhappy with that I think is stupid and shitty? I think someone at Second Dinner probably thinks they're being funny haha with it. But alongside the variant pack for the Cerebro, they put up freaking variants for 2 cards that are anti-Cerebro cards. And I think it's just a really peak dickhead thing to do. think it's like, it's so, I mean, maybe that makes it, maybe it's funny and fine. I actually don't have a Triton variant. I guess I'll go buy one. Given that those two cards are bad, I think it's funny. Yeah, maybe it's fine. And annoying. And as someone who gets their sandcastle regularly kicked, I was annoyed by it at first glance. Do I want any of these? Some of these are in, I'll let it use that. Well, I should check my mastery level on these is what I should check. How much is it to buy these out? Yeah, I don't have, I could use mastery experience on all of these. There's, 10 in here. This was 10,000 tokens. All right, fine. We had some credit rolls here too. But Jeff, you're already under 500,000 tokens. How will you get by? That's the real questions.
Mastery.
The game will be dead before I run out of tokens, chat. It'll be okay. Where's the draft article? I was hoping they would release a separate pack with only the base cards before. Did they stop doing that? I don't like these variant packs. You get the base card with the variant, gamer. You get both. If you're missing the base card, you get the base card.
Mastery.
Ooh. Mr. Baku.
Mastery.
I think we might play the real Marvel Snap game and split some cards here this afternoon too. I'm missing a bunch of 700 gold variants and I have like 20,000 credits, so
Mastery.
I'd like to split some cards and get some boxes to get some variants.
Mastery.
Guess I have to stand up for a little bit here too. We had 5x5s for squats this morning, chat. Gonna be sore for a little bit. A reaction video to the draft content. You can back scroll the live stream. It'll be up on the Hooglandia Stamp channel in a little bit when it's done processing.
Mastery.
Just recorded that live.
Mastery.
All right, chat. Was it Crawler that we unlocked? My favorite background on. That's perfect. And on Cerebro as well. Good looking out, gamers. Good looking out. Alright, I got 22,000 credits. Sort by mastery. Who are we missing Galactic Storm on? Rogue? Am I really missing it on Rogue? Huh, we are. Alright, well, we're guaranteed to hit it on the next split, so let it rip.
Infinity.
Do these packs count towards the counter on your 5,000 token rewards? I have no idea. Not a clue.
Mastery.
Like the last possible mastery level you could get Galactic Storm at is 29, so we were rolling her to 29. We knew we were guaranteed to get it. We play Black Cat pretty consistently. Is she really still missing it too? She is not. Okay. Double check. Sometimes I forgot to swap them over. I'm not splitting Gambit. You can't make me. We play Electra periodically. She is missing Galactic Storm. Pretty sure the Pity is tracked separately for each pack. That would be my expectation, but I don't know with certainty. Bonus card protection is within a certain pack. Nice. What's your favorite deck to play right now? Well, you're in luck. My best decks roundup today had 2 Jeff's picks at the end.
Mastery.
Looking for decks that I've enjoyed in recent memory. Check that out. Spoilers, one of the 2 contains Beast. Chavez deserves Galactic Storm. So this one's gonna take us a few splits because unfortunately 25 is guaranteed to be fire. I can't get Galactic Storm at it.
Infinity.
Yeah, you can tell cards. Honestly, going through my collection and figuring out which cards haven't even gotten upgraded to a black border or ice, there are good choices for secondary to consider for reworks or buffs. I just haven't been playing in a long time, even with people paying me to play terrible things periodically. So this next split gets us a mastery level, but it's guaranteed to not be
Infinity.
for what I want. Look at that chat. Look at that chat. Isn't not my dance a wizard on the thumbnail? Gorgeous. All of the Toad Flares are belong to someone else because I don't want them. It's actually a killer split.
Mastery.
I know it's cheaper to split this one, chat, but I'm leaving this one at the legendary border for old time's sake. I'll spew that handful of credits.
Infinity.
Nostalgia purposes, it's staying how it is. From back when Chavez was a 6 cost. Nice! She hit it on 26. Love that for us. Is Punisher one of the only cards in my collection that still doesn't have a black border? There's another gold one up here. I think it was Sabretooth. He's got a black border at least. Where's Human Torch at? I'll play a ton of him, but we play him. Oh, he's already got Galactic Storm. Perfect. Probably from a stray variant I picked up. That's why we're checking. Cable. I don't know that I'm splitting Cable. I really don't like him as a card. He's low on my priority. Black Widow's been trading with Invisible Woman, I see. Pixie! Chat, there are no Unity error messages in Boss Sig Save. Speaking of things that don't exist in Boss Sig Say, did we see Walmart miss their price projection for the first time in their earnings target for the first time in 6 years?
Mastery.
A legitimate agency account is advertising the DC Grand Prix, and the guy in the back looks like Jeffrey Epstein. Well, I'm sure a big part of this is because a lot of the photos of Donald Trump that AIs train on probably have Jeffrey Epstein in them at this point on the internet. So, like, almost assuredly, the AI tool they used to generate this associates these two together because they're both fucking pedophiles. Just so we're clear. GOP, guardian of pedophiles. Ooh, where's my pixie at? Let's split a few more times. We play Pixie periodically. I would like to go for what's it called?
Infinity.
Whoo, buddy old pal. Someday they're gonna give us multiple custom cards per character, and I'm gonna have a gold Rainbow Crackle deck.
Mastery.
Someday they're gonna make it easier to use multiple splits.
Infinity.
Glorious. Yeah, that's why I'm splitting cards. I think we'll split this till we run out of credits or hit Galactic Storm, but I want to rip some boxes. We'll rip boxes during breaks to look for 700 gold variants I'm missing.
Mastery.
Need 2 more splits for another mastery. Oh, I'm actually almost out of boosters on her too.
Infinity.
Grok is saying it's Sean Duffy, not Epstein. Yeah, well, Grok's been lobotomized so many times. I want to decline trusting what Mecha Hitler thinks. I don't know that I want to spend wildcard boosters on Pixie. Although I guess I need wildcard boosters on Pixie if I want to get through that. That was another really good split. With Crackle. I actually don't have enough boosters to go for Galactic unless I spend wildcards on it. Alright, I'll spend one round of wildcards on you, Pixie. 1 round. We'll go twice more, and we'll stop almost out of credits anyways.
Infinity.
Oh god, it's also hideous. Do I reroll the green or do I reroll the refraction? Oh god, it didn't get better. It got worse.
Mastery.
Oh, perfect. Rewarded. Rewarded. Oh, I actually didn't even need to use the wildcard boosters. Perfection. All right, we had 1 viewer deck request left over from yesterday that I did not get to. That I said we would play today to start. Does anybody have a link to Hannah's deck from the Gauntlet? We had a request to give it a try. Anyone have the golden Gauntlet sets? I always forget what the website is. Is it Go Battles or something like that? Oh, right. I think this website is so terrible. Like, it's crazy to me that you run an events website and there's no... Why is it taking me to a login page when I navigate to this website instead of taking me to a landing page for deck lists? With a login button somewhere on it. I don't understand. Oh, you're right. I think we did play a little bit of it. I can check my history. So I'm going to a different website because that website is bad. Got it. Nailed it. It was this one, yeah, with Sabater. Chat! Conquest is unlocked! Conquest is unlocked! They do know we exist! A bug fix in my Marvel Snap? It's more likely than you think. It's more likely than you think. Pillar confirmed. They were, Manicus. Yeah, if you want to see our review of the draft mode details, you can check that out here.
Mastery.
You can't be a pillar without the new game board. That's true. Unironically. Unironically.
The universe shall be set right.
Ooh, That's a piece of candy.
Opponent snapped.
You know, it's funny. This was in my hand, so my brain somewhere I was like, oh, Space Toad's not drawing anything. But yeah, definitely second Thanos. Oh, chat, you know, I just realized with the back camera set up for the random Flexi Spot promo, I can show you the back of the shirt very easily. Look, it's got a nice big artwork on the back. Isn't it pretty? I have a couple of these ones from Into the AM that I often don't wear too much on stream because they only have the little picture on the front and the big images on the back. I think I should re-roll the Elysium. Yes or no? Bluestone? Bluestone. I don't have space to get Thanos big. Feels like a problem. We are so cooked. Wait, their Galactus is only 19, right? They might Nimrod, that's true. They wouldn't kill the Shuri if they were Nimrodding. Yeah.
Wakanda forever.
Ah.
Wakanda forever. Escaped.
I talk about this in the best decks roundup for the week, but definitely one of the best ways to attack these Thanos decks, I think, is these go over the top style combo decks. I think these Nimrod builds are a solid choice. There's a few others in the roundup video for the week.
The universe shall be set right.
Oh, one drop. Sedge.
Opponent snapped.
Been finding joy recently with the Magus, Human Torch, Living Tribunal combo lists you featured in the past. Nice, Roller. That sounds like a very reasonable thing to poke at. Fits that same type of deck building vein we're talking about, where you want a kind of big go over the top type thing. Zombie, 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 hey, hey. My Mockingbird variant is nice. Yeah, the... What's it called? Our best in class fantasy variants. Oh shit, this Red Wolf is giving Fire Hair +2 power. Chad, I think we're about to lose to a Death Fracture deck. Yep, certainly looks like it.
I want the throne.
They didn't even have their death, and we still just got outstatted. I think Aurora has been in my best decks roundup almost every time since she's been created at the end of last year, and I just very consistently have people go way far over the top of us. It's never an archetype that feels like it comes together, and people are consistently doing well with it, but I just never managed to make it work. Win matches with a snap. Rub my nose in it, why don't you? CRS, thank you for the 32 months. Appreciate that. Welcome back. See if we can put something together here with us this afternoon, huh?
Destiny will arrive. The universe shall be set right. Oh, snap.
Gamer, someone send help. I'm being Q-sniped. I think my Thanos deck would be a lot better if I could stop drawing it upside down. I think is where I'm at.
Opponent snapped.
Hey, I mean, their Thanos is stuck in the center. Their entire hand is, like, free. We'll see how this goes. Brody, thank you for the 2.5 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Why is Dance Loader there? So they added emote placeholders this match, so because I've deleted all of the emote files, whenever someone emotes me, I just get a loading screen now. Get to know when people press the button.
Your future is bleak. Destiny will arrive. Snap!
What do you think about Modern? I feel they've ruined it. You think he has an opinion about Modern? I mean, Wizards of the Coast ruining Modern, in my opinion, was one of the final things that really pushed me out of Magic the Gathering, Marty. Them gutting the concept of a non-rotating format wholly and completely from Magic the Gathering. was a big letdown for me personally. I really enjoyed Magic the Gathering's like modern and legacy formats, and then when they started turning them into soft rotating formats with power creep, I was very sad. Yeah, but surely things changed the last number of years. I mean, given the fact that they had to ban Fantasticar in Vintage, I'm gonna assume that the power creep is worse, not better. Oh, I'm about to murder the shit out of that Sage ship. Wow, so Fantasticar is pay to win everywhere. It's true, you know. Opponent had bolts of Ballsack here, meaning that they've got 10 energy. We could punt left because of images. You think they're gonna win one of the other ones after spending 4 energy on the left? Especially after Great Web pulls them over?
Power must be controlled.
Victory.
Look at that, chat. We can win an entire match. All right. I think this is where things turn around for us, chat. It's gonna be all smooth sailing from here. We're gonna take a brief pause for the cause to let an advert roll. I need to run and fill my water bottle up, but when we get back, we're gonna play some more of this Thanos deck that took second in the Golden Gauntlet last weekend. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Don't go anywhere, gamers. So, thanks for the 10 months. Appreciate you keeping me around to do what I do.
Destiny will arrive. Oh, snap.
Okay. We're throwing the power stone away here. How much will I regret throwing away Luke Cage? Let's find out. Body is ready to be Scorpion Cabo. About to get Galactus, gamers.
Kneel before Galactus. Opponent snapped.
As you will. Next. She does that too, doesn't she?
Victory. The universe shall be set right.
Lamaria stops you from loading a shot here, by the way, for people that haven't seen this interaction. It is how you say Big Sam. Yet another reason to hate Lamaria. We didn't need more of them, but we got one. Six labbing actually ain't bad for us. We can pile up some friends there and then spread the stats around, and that'll work with Venus. Three is an excellent draw here. Your other card split its power. Sure didn't look like it there. What do you think of just doing this? Alright, Saba. Counting on you, bud. We were 10% to win that. Well, with the Caliban, we were 0, yeah. Yeah, I've not been able to buy a win with this deck.
Destiny will arrive. Snap!
Did Jeff mention we got draft news? I don't see it in his title. It's literally the first word, gamer. I understand when people miss things if it's like buried further in the title, but come on, it's the first word. In the least shocking news you'll hear today, the incredibly corrupt and biased Supreme Court of the United States has ruled that Donald Trump may continue erecting his ballroom in Washington. How's this deck holding up? I cannot bio-in with it. My tracker says we are now 3-7. It's pretty actively misleading to say Michigan Democrats are pushing for Abdul's opponent. You're right that there are some people that are Democrats in Michigan that are doing that, but it's not all of them. And then Sabater goes twice here, yeah? I mean, I assume you'll have to pay per run, Captive. I assume entering a draft will not be free. At a minimum, I assume as a limited time game mode, it's going to use their similar ticketing system to how their other limited time game modes work.
Power must be controlled.
Is that all right? Thankfully, Mill is still Mill. So when you can't buy a win, it can show up to let you in.
The universe shall be sent, right? Oh, snap.
They're a Killmonger deck. I'm just saying it out loud for myself, or just as much for the benefit of you at home. Yeah, they didn't want to Killmonger my -8 power thing or their demons in that last game.
Opponent snapped. Oh no, their Thanos is cheaper now. Shit.
Do I want to copy Thanos? He'll be at 512. I think I want an option to do that. Within a draw, I think. Oh, your original Thanos is also at 512. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, yeah, good point. Joke's on you, I wasn't drawing any more cards anyways. Is your last card Death? Yeah, probably. They had my time stone, so unfortunately I don't have an empowered Thanos here. Mill decks are something else. I don't know what exactly, but they are something else. They're a testament to the fact that not everybody plays games for the sake of winning. Some of them really just want to be annoying. I can't wait to pick the Mill archetype in draft. I think they said there's only like 6 archetypes, right? Which I don't know. I guess I don't have a good memory of limited. How does 6 archetypes compare to like the average Magic draft format? I mean, how many distinguishable archetypes does that game tend to have per? Hello, Marvel Snap.
Epic.
In modern Magic, generally each color pair has a type archetype, so that's usually 10 per draft. Okay. 6 felt like it was on the low side. I don't have a baseline. Sure.
Mastery.
Animated emote, Fury, and Goose. Oh, they're selling these things for $35. Got it. Oh, literally $35. I like that variant. It's a good piece of art. I don't have a variant for Death. Do I want that one? I think I like the other pieces for her better, but I also don't know when they're coming. All the others are undone. I'm gonna buy this one for now, I think. It's good enough. You see how much I spent on animated emotes now? Please re-enable your emotes to justify my decision. No. You will get no positive reinforcement. What's your favorite Death Fractured Frontier list you've tried so far? I've got 2 of them up in the next roundup. Took the time to record that before I went live this morning. Check it out. Oh my goodness, I'm down to my last 30 Cosmic Black borders, chat. We're going broke. We're going broke. You ever try Phantom X with Death? That doesn't sound very good. Phantom X usually has to spend its last turn setting up enablers for its card. Doesn't usually have time to play. A 5-drop. Your Death Fractured Frontiers plus Rodin deck has been very good for me so far. Nice! Glad you're having fun with it. By 5 energy is just so much energy. Yeah, I've really enjoyed Riftbound. I hope they eventually do digital so I can have time to play more of it. I agree, there's definitely elements of both Magic the Gathering and Marvel Snap in there. Bullseye's good against Cerebro, maybe? I'd have to not play my stones out. Oh, you know what's good against Cerebro, chat? Fucking murdering it. Gotta get it out of here. YOLOing the Cerebro to the board is usually a good play. I mean, they copied it with Frigo. them cleared here, even with 2 of them, yeah. Mr. Baku!
Victory.
We are recreating the tournament files, yeah.
The universe shall be set right. Oh, snap.
Well, I mean, we're definitely not re-rolling that one. That one has potential benefits for us and is only downside for them. Center's not great for them either. Sans like Makari and M'Baku.
Victory.
We can click in and out of things and claim our missions again, chat. It's glorious. Glorious! Isn't that 2 matches in a row we've won now? That's exciting. That's exciting. Slow and steady. Hey, Moose, sorry, I missed your comment about the walking panther. Link or cookie tracking should know you came from me. I think there's a comment section you could throw my name into when you pick up something on the FlexiSpot site, but I assume. Usually those types of sites use
Will arrive.
tracking cookies or whatnot to know where referral links came from. Thanks for checking them out.
Snap. Opponent snapped.
Not a stellar opening for our hero here. Well, so long, Kid Omega. Hardly knew you. How do you feel about 4 Marvel Boys, chat? Makes Mockingbird cheap too. Do you know if the Dazzler bundle is good value? So I've got a thing here that talks about bundle evaluations. Generally speaking, the best value bundles are the ones that have series 4 or 5 cards you're missing, but depending on the context of your collection, those can be few and far between at times. So their Darkhawk's gonna get 1 smaller, and I'm gonna add 2 smaller. We're gonna add 8 more to the center. We're also gonna get to add Aurora there though too. Oh, man, let's get smooth. Where's this one? Right about that. I don't know that I needed that insult on my injury chat.
Escaped.
I can hear Brode's laugh from here. LOL. Alright, I want to play a different pile. These decks just really don't click for me, and they also just don't feel particularly compelling or exciting. I think this is the type of list that, like, more competitive players tend to gravitate towards, because, like, with Cosmo and Mobius, and if you snap well, you probably don't have any completely unwinnable matchups, but they're just, like, kind of small edges type things, and the regular Thanos aspect of it really just makes both of these cards just a lot less consistent than I would typically enjoy. Should we do this? Let's try some of this for the Death Knot. Did we play this one? I think we did. Maybe we'll do that next. Thanos missions. I'm mulligan the Mindscape.
Escaped.
You mentioned you wanted to try some Psylocke repeat effect style decks in the last stream, which I did not. We did viewer decks yesterday. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Talking and clicking. Oh, that's fine. We should take an end roll anyway. See you in 120 seconds, gamers. Just hang it out. Don't go anywhere. Do some death when we get back. Speaking of Riftbound, someone just linked me this in one of my gaming discords. Apparently, there's no air conditioning at the event where they're holding a Riftbound tournament in Europe. Which, man, I've been to some card game tournaments where the air conditioning was plentiful and things were still a little bit ripe. I can't imagine how bad a room full of nerds is without the AC working. It's gotta be how you say not great. Seems not great. Lots of ranks going up in there, yep. I've been to at least one big tournament in Florida where the air conditioning was broken. It was an experience. Oof. I just ran a fighting game tournament in Florida with no AC and the smell was unbearable. Wakandon won both my quick draw cards in my opener. Giddy up, gamers. Let's go. Yeehaw.
I found a rock.
They released news about the upcoming draft mode. My number one piece of advice for people hoping to do well in draft is that reading is essential. And you should consider reading stream titles before you come into chat.
Hey, I found a rock.
Dragon of the Moon! What a gamer. Assuredly, we top deck our namesake, yes?
Hey man, I'm a cook.
Okay.
Hey, I found a rock. I've got the throne.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, I hate it. Oh, what a keeper. Gentleman and a scholar. I want to do this after, so I don't think I want Uncle Ben to get points from. What's it called?
You are mine. Wakanda forever.
Cut off one head, two more shall take its place.
Wakanda forever.
All right. I mean, assuredly, this is enough. Should we have put death on the right? I don't know.
Wakanda forever.
Oh, I'm getting the feeling this is gonna be another weekend. I missed the weekend mission tokens shit. We didn't get them last week. And I don't think we're gonna get them this week. We'll get the Thanos missions done. Thanos is good and fun. One more embarrassing LME for death, I think. It's not gonna fix the conquest issue. They did! They do know we exist.
Oh, snap. Opponent snapped.
Stardust kind of weakened, I'm guessing. Death Fractured Frontiers is one of those releases that's just like so bad it's not even worth metagaming against. Every time I make a new deck, my deck with new death, it auto loses if it doesn't draw her. I mean, not only that, but like,
Armed with the
even
throne.
when you draw her, you're not guaranteed to win.
Hey man, I'm Cook.
Like, it's fine if you need to draw your thing for stuff to be functional for you, but like when you draw it, it needs to be more powerful than death probably is. Carnage. Red Wolf. Oh baby. Oh baby. Ooh.
I am Iron Man.
Man, flipped heads and I should have flipped tails.
Send a rook.
I thought for sure they'd be able to play for both. Should have put death on the left, would have gotten it. Oh. Spend one more energy. No. No, I don't think I will. Alright, gamers, we're going to be doing a ton of Snap next week with both draft mode dropping and, there being Twitch drops going on. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it this afternoon. I'll play a little bit of Arknight's Enfield to wrap up, I think. They had some extra levels in one of their modes drop, and I have a couple of missions that were time gated that are up that I can move some things around before we wrap, but I'm gonna just have a chill remainder of the Friday. Draft mode drop sometime on Monday. I don't think they've given us an exact time yet. Usually limited time game modes go up and roll over.
Arknights.